It took me 20 years to get there, of hard analysis and personal guidance, and his guidance even, and even there is difficult. So for this thing we need a special training. Otherwise, for superficial people, it's enough to just do it yourself, one thing, and then, yeah, but you don't even know if that's correct or not. So, therefore, if we are lucky enough to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, and you're interested to learn this thing, then you need to study it in lessons specifically about this topic, which is one of the topics we have in the study program. And therefore, here, just to give you an example of how this combines two simple things, fingering 2 from the 3rd fret, C minor melodic, this, and fingering 2 of the modal thing from the 5th fret, which is G major. Right? For example, exercises. Well, you know, you start by just combining those two. Minor melodic ascendant and descendant modal, and then the opposite ascendant. First ascendant minor melodic, and then descendant modal, and then ascendant modal, send that minor melodic, and then just go up and down with that. So Paco will stay in one place and know this very well. And here we can say one thing, which actually he one day comment that Bruce Lee said, I am not afraid of the guy who knows 10,000 kicks, but I am afraid of the opponent who practiced 10,000 times one kick. He said that regarding this topic of the thinking is because it's true, if he nails you with that one kick, you are done. So therefore, this means that's how he trained this way. This was his approach to improvisation, to become strong in one thing. So therefore, for him, this thing was, he was a monster on this stuff, on positional playing. And then, of course, McLaughlin and these guys, they are not like that. They are just into so many options. Like you say, A minor to McLaughlin, he can use fourth, minor melodic, this, fragments of intervals, who knows what. Like, he had so many options to choose, and right at hand, at Ochi Korea, forget it. So, but Paco was able to play, and to solo with them, and even to maybe sometimes challenge them, playing their life, right? How? It's not well because he was great. This is very superficial answers, just that you're not thinking. Just think how it's possible that Paco de Lucia didn't know one thing about theory, didn't know why this is C major actually. In fact, he said it there many times in his interviews and in his documentaries that they never studied music. Because he didn't have money, not because it's what we have to do. That's another problem. People misinterpret things and now think that this is the way to go. He said, no, of course we should do it. But I didn't have money to do, that's why I didn't do it. So anyway, the thing is, how come Paco de Lucia would play along with these guys who are so expert and so well versed into theory of music? Well, because he was very strong in one kick, right? So and his one kick was positional playing. Playing by positional structure. The very structure of his way to think about the patterns and the chord progressions was all based in positional playing. And but he was very good at this. That's one thing. So it was not just playing nonsensically the things up and down, but we have to start somewhere. And therefore he will search places which are close, like for instance fingering 4 of the minor melodic scale from the 5th fret. It happens to be also somehow linked to fingering 1 of the modal theme. Right? So, and the opposite also true. Ascendant. Right? So this way, for everything, for the minor harmonic, for the whole tone, for all those, right? So what I can use, which is close to the thing, and then he would work on one position, right? How he worked? Well, generally he put a jump track or something, or put any piece of pieces of with vocals, like how I explain this thing, how he practiced. Because what I put at the beginning of many of my videos is one piece of one guy singing there, and then I play some solo over that. That's what I learned from him. He was doing this thing as a practice. That was his way to practice improvisation. And also because it gives you so many hints about how the Andalusian cadence works. If you understand this decante, not like a snob tourist flamenco guy, but really means you need to know Paco de Lucia's discography with Cameron. This is the thing. So this is not so easy also. That's why I have a job here, because I can explain these things. Now, therefore, positional playing is very interesting thing. Fingering 4 from the modal is linked to fingering 3 of the minor melodic, etc. These things, which fingering is close to what? This is the question. And then practice with that and master that. And then do music with it, of course, obviously. Right? But he was all about this positional approach, because what else he can do? He cannot go and say, you know, this is a minor chord, and then here we can play a minor pentatonic scale from the second degree. Like McLaughlin did, and it gives a hint of Dorian and stuff. Then if it is a minor 7 flat 5, then we would use from the flat third. Right? He didn't have this kind of thing, because that requires a lot of knowledge of harmony and that. Because he was not, besides the fact that he never used pentatonic scale, but it's just I also don't use it, because he said this is very delicate thing. It may destroy easily the style. But well, anyway, that's another topic, and I already made videos about that. So because that's one question people ask also. So therefore, the advice is to learn his fingerings. And through this research of inquiring how he think about this, what was his approach, then you discover what is you. This is not to copy him also. There's another misunderstanding here. We're not copying anything. This is not to copy. It's just to learn through that, through the path he walked on, and discover by yourself these things. Right? Of course, to do that you need to have a guidance. That's why, again, I said these things cannot be learned by watching a video. This is impossible. Because how you will learn them the losing case by watching a video? It's not possible. Yeah, you can learn the 4 chords, and now what? What I do with that? This is what is about all this positional playing. So therefore, in my method, I explain this from scratch, from 0 level, what to do. Because then we know the structures, how the fretboard is matching up with this thing based on the Paco's fingerings, and then you will use that thing to create music. So this is a very interesting topic, and therefore these things we will do in Skype. Thank you, and I see you next time.
Me ayudó porque descubrí ahí la improvisación. La improvisación es algo que yo pienso que cada músico del estilo que sea, del clásico, del flamenco, de cualquier otra música, debería aprender, porque en la improvisación te da mucha libertad y a la vez te da mucho conocimiento de dónde estás tocando, de cómo estás tocando, de qué armonías están en cada momento, ¿no?
Muy bien. Pablo. Sí, Paco, ¿qué es para usted la música popular y qué es la música elitista?
Yo creo que la música elitista es el refinamiento de la música popular. Por ejemplo, el flamenco. El flamenco originalmente es una música popular, la música del pueblo andalucía. Pero creo que ya no le pertenece más al pueblo, porque de pronto habemos gente que nos hemos pasado toda una vida encerrados, puliendo esa expresión popular. Entonces ha llegado a un nivel en el que el pueblo ya no tiene esencia, sobre todo a los matices que vamos consiguiendo la gente como yo, que nos pasamos muchas horas elaborando esa música.